This vodcast brought to you by Power9 Games.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Frontier Gaming. Tonight we're going to be doing an unboxing of the new TIE FO ship. I'm Matt Turner.
I am Z.
And we're going to get straight into looking at the model itself. We're going to be fanboying a bit on this because we just saw the movie recently. Super excited for all this stuff.
It is awesome. These things are awesome in the movie. The super cool styling. I think they've definitely earned the change in color scheme and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a departure from the standard Imperial color scheme, but I think it's totally earned.
It really works because it is setting it apart. I just really like the detail on the cockpit and the glass that they have in there. It's actually got some shading and some tone in there. Pretty freaking good. Even by Fantasy Flight standard, it's a really good looking ship.
As detailed as it is pretty plain, and so I think it'll be a ripe opportunity for a little customization and stuff. If you want to make it look like specific ships from the movie or something like that eventually, or if there's more movies that dig into it, it could be a really cool ship to start with. So
we're going to go ahead and jump into the pilot cards. Starting out with Epsilon Squadron pilot, TIE FO fighter. And nothing special, 15 points, pilot skill 1. You got all your standard TIE abilities except with the new target lock, as we've seen from
TIE fighters now get a target lock.
Yeah, so focus, target lock, barrel roll, and evade. 15 points. What's the big bump up from the original TIE?
So the base stats there are 2 to attack, 3 evade, 3 hull, 1 shield. So the change there is it gets 1 shield, it gets a target lock, and then its dial actually is, I think, the main bump up from the base TIE, and that's what gives you that 3 points.
And of course the new tech upgrade too.
Yeah, and then the new tech upgrade slot. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the dial real quick because I think that's super relevant to this discussion of the point costs at least. So it's got 1 hards that are white either side. All of its 2. It has every 2, and they're all green, which is pretty good. That's the interceptor style dial there, and then it also has a 2 Sengor loop.
Yep.
2 Sengor loop, and that's a really strong maneuver on this ship. I've seen it played a couple times, and it can effectively turn around in a very small space and off to the side. And then it's got 3 everything white, 4 white straight, 4K turn, and then 5 white straight. So
yeah, super maneuverable the way you want your TIE fighters to be.
And I think that's what the bulk of the point difference between this and the regular TIE fighter is that its style is almost as good as an interceptor's. Actually, it is about as good as an interceptor's. It just doesn't have the green 4. And it doesn't have the 2 different K turns, but it has the 2 S loops. So
they still need a reason to fly the interceptor, I think.
Yeah. But still 2 attack dice. So base 1, I mean, it's a pretty good upgrade for a regular TIE fighter if you have 15 instead of 12 points, I think.
Yeah, and it looks really cool.
Yep. So next one we got is the Zeta Squadron pilot. He's PS3 instead of PS1. Same everything else, and he is 1 point more expensive. So 1 point for 2 PS, pretty standard veteran instinct level upgrade right there. So
yeah, reasonable if you got the extra point.
Yep, pretty easy.
Omega Squadron pilot, same stats, and doesn't add any abilities, bumps it up to 17 point, except it does get the elite pilot skill.
Yeah.
So that's when it starts getting really interesting with this guy. At pilot skill 4 too.
Yeah, and that's your standard PS4 Empire pilot with a pilot skill. Pilot skills on this thing are pretty interesting actually. There's some other cards we'll look at later that come with this ship, and then your standard stuff. It's obviously, I think it's going to be a good push the limit ship. It's got 4 actions and it has 2 hards, all the 2 greens. So
the greens you
can do interceptor style things with it. No boost obviously, but that's why you play interceptor. I think is for the boost. So super strong. Next one up is our first ace, or at least guy with pilot ability. He's PS4. It's called Epsilon Ace, and he's 17 points. No pilot ability or no EPT slot, but he does have an ability. It says, while you do not have damage cards, treat your pilot skill value as 12. So standard TIE fighter, but PS12, so it gets to shoot
Yeah,
before
that could
everyone.
be really interesting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, probably for balance reasons, he doesn't have an EPT, so he can't pass off his PS12 to other people.
Oh, yeah. That would be ridiculous.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah, he's just, you pay a couple extra points and you get PS12.
Yeah.
He's pretty effective.
Yeah, same points as the other 4 skill. You just trading that EPT.
One of the most annoying things, I think, is TIE fighters shooting before your aces do, because then you're having to spend tokens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, shedding tokens you might need to save for a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Okay. On to Zeta Leader. So when attacking, if you are not stressed, you may receive 1 stress token to roll 1 additional attack die. And it's a 20 point with an EPT and a tech upgrade, so
this is the first PS7. This is the first kind of big TIE fighter here. 20 points is not too bad for that ability, which is effectively opportunist on a PS7 guy. So you're saving a lot of points there, and with all those greens, like, he's pretty strong.
Yeah,
so
really easy to shed the stress on there, and then getting up to a 3 attack without having to shell out for other upgrades.
And one thing that I saw was super strong on this guy is the wired EPT, where you get to reroll all your focuses if you have a stress. And so he is stressing himself right before he attacks, so he doesn't take any penalties for having the stress any other time, and he gets it right when he needs it, when he wants to roll his attack dice. So it's pretty strong.
Yeah, I like him. He's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Cool ability, and so I think we'll move on there. I mean, he's got opportunist built in. It's really good. Next up is Omega Leader. He's a PS8. He has an EPT at 21 points, and his ability is enemy ships that you have locked cannot modify any dice when attacking you or defending against your attacks. So this guy,
I think that's pretty legit.
It is really good. One of my main, I'm not a huge fan of two attack dice ships generally, but this guy can lay the hurt down because you can't fix your evades against him. And then like Mauler Mythal on the regular TIE fighter, he's super hard to kill.
No, super good against other Imperialists. So
I
really like him for that.
Yeah, because I think one of the main things that TIE fighters have a problem with is high evade ships, and he can pick off those elite interceptor aces by just making it so they can't spend their tokens.
Any obvious upgrades you would put on him?
I think the 2 in this pack are basically meant for him, so we'll see those in just a sec. So, but he's Juke and Com Relay are the upgrades, and those are the 2 things you put on him.
Yeah. All right, well, that's all of our pilots. So
yeah, that's Pat, so we can get right to these upgrades here.
Cool. Let's go ahead and do the comm relay. It's a tech upgrade that you cannot have more than 1 evade token. During the end phase, you do not remove an unused evade token from your ship, and it costs 3 points.
Yeah, so the point cost is a little steep on this one.
A little steep, yeah.
And its use is pretty situational, I think.
I think you have to have a specific build in mind when
X-Wings can't generally get evade tokens, so if you can give them evade tokens somehow, and then they have this, that can be useful. But I think it's obviously, like we just said, I think it's really most useful on that last TIE fighter who wants to take the evade token and then use it and then be able to target lock people. So because he needs to target lock people to turn his ability on. And that'll let you put. It also let you put different EPTs onto these TIE Advance, these ones, and then the ones that came in the core set, because that way you don't really need to use push the limit to get that extra action if you get to save your evade
for sure.
token,
PTL seems like a really good choice there, and then I think it's going to help diversify some of the skills you see out there too.
Exactly. It gives you more value to that pilot skill if you don't have to action to evade every turn, then you can do some other interesting things. So
cool.
And then the last card in this pack, unfortunately, I would say, is Juke. It's an elite pilot skill. It says small ship only, which is interesting. When attacking, if you have an evade token, you may change one of the defender's evade results to a focus result, and that is 2 points. And this thing is really good on these TIE fighters. It makes their 2 attack dice actually pretty threatening if they're basically removing one of your evades. It's almost like a 3 attack ship, and then obviously with Epsilon Ace, I think his name was, or Epsilon Leader. I forgot his name. Sorry, Omega Leader. Sorry, where they can't modify, so you switch the evade dice, and then they can't change it back.
I really like that they included that it's small ship only too, so you can't have your Falcons out there juking around.
Yeah, Falcon, Millennium Falcon, or the aggressors who are taking those evade tokens for free sometimes.
It needed to be more tanky.
Yeah, exactly right, or be more deadly even.
Right.
Yeah. So this is really smart, I think, and it gives you an interesting choice because a lot of those ships that can take evade tokens don't necessarily want to spend their EPT slot on something besides PTL. I mean, I'm talking about interceptors, obviously, like. They're the ones you see all the time, and they're always taking push limit, and so maybe this makes sense on some of them, possibly. But like other ships, there's some cool interactions you could do. Like Jan Ors can give out evade tokens in Rebels.
Yeah.
And so then you could play this to get some dice modification stuff. So.
Yeah, seems really good. Yeah, I'm a fan of this ship. I don't play Imperials.
Yeah.
But I still think it's super cool.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to be something you're going to see at tournaments?
Well, we just had a tournament here this last weekend, and I was actually kind of down on this ship because I hadn't looked too much at it, and then I saw it on the table a couple times, and that dial is really strong, and
may not be everything you thought on paper until you see it in
for sure.
action.
It gets a lot of its value out of its dial, and there's a lot of people playing like just a bunch of the elite guys with their different pilot abilities, so they kind of like run this smorgasbord of interesting abilities, so you're never quite sure what's going to hit you, and
keep you guessing.
Exactly, yeah. And so, and it's hard to focus on TIE fighters if a particular one has a problem for you. They kind of swarm in there, and some of them block you, some of them take off, and all that kind of stuff. So. Really interesting ship, really interesting dynamic, I think.
If you're running a swarm of the FOs, how many do you think you're going to see?
I think you're seeing 4 to 5. I think 5 would be a really good number, but you're probably spending up money on upgrades.
Yeah, I probably need a few.
But 4 is a good spot if you're getting value out of this. I think the most you see with like an elite style list is 3 ships. So if you can get 4 elite ships that are getting value out of their points.
Their pilot skills and their upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. Their pilot skill, their upgrades. I played against one in particular, and I was playing some interceptors, and they gave me a run for my money because like epsilon ace with the making it so I can't modify. The guy that has opportunist effectively, he was running some upgrades like wired and weapons guidance from the Force Awakens pack, where you can spend a focus to add a hit. So he was just throwing 4 dice and putting a ton of hits down. So
nice.
Yeah.
But the interceptors did win, right?
No, they died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Wow.
It was
very exciting.
It was pretty exciting. Very cool. So excited to see what people come up with for this stuff.
Cool. Well, I think we're both pretty favorable on the FO.
Yeah.
But definitely check it out, give it a try, and tell us what you think.
Yep.
If you haven't yet, share, like, subscribe. Really appreciate it. But otherwise, hopefully catch you on the next video. We'll look at the T-70.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.